Thank you, Sister Julia, and welcome, brethren, to our Sabbath afternoon study. And welcome to you, all of you, brethren, with us on the Zoom. I'm going to start out with a reading from Matthew 5:43-48 for our opening thought. Ye have heard that it hath been said, Thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thine enemy. But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you, that ye may be the children of your Father which is in heaven. For he maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust. For if ye love them which love you, what reward have ye? Do not even the publicans the same? And if ye salute your brethren only, what do ye more than others? Do not even the publicans so? But be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. Now, it is easy for us to salute those who we like and say good morning, hi, how are you? It is easy for us to be kind to our friends and family, but that does not satisfy the requirements of God. That is not what is required to be perfect. It is necessary for us to love our neighbor. We are to actually love our neighbor as ourselves, and we are to do good unto them. And we are to even love them. And this is what it takes for us to be considered to be perfect, to be Christians, perfect Christians. If we love our friends and we are kind to our family, but we do not salute strangers, we do not help strangers, we do not care about other people, we are not accounted as real Christians, real Davidians. The manifestation of hatred never breaks down the malice of our enemies. Sometimes people treat us bad, and we want to get back at them. That's not possible for a Christian or a Davidian. We don't harbor those kinds of thoughts. But love and kindness beget love and kindness in return. Although God faithfully rewards virtue and punishes guilt, yet he does not withhold his blessings from the wicked. And this is a very important thought that many people don't fully understand. And there are things in the Old Testament, Psalms and Proverbs and so on, where it would appear that the wicked are cursed and the righteous are blessed. And it's true, but it's true spiritually. When it comes to the great blessings of God, like sunshine and the showers, they fall upon the just and the unjust just the same, bringing alike worldly prosperity to both. If a holy God exercises such forbearance and benevolence towards the rebellious and idolatrous, how necessary it is that erring man should manifest a like spirit toward his fellow men. And we are to not hold against the people of the world the fact that they are in the world, that they are Gentiles, that they don't have the knowledge that we have, that they may even be evildoers in some ways. What do you consider to be an evildoer? Maybe they are smokers or drinkers. Maybe they are drug users. Maybe they are transgender people. You would consider that to be wrongdoing, but do we hold it against them? We don't judge them, brethren. You don't hold these things against them. And I'm giving you a hard test there because it's very easy for us to be judgmental. The Lord will judge. He will judge, but that's not our job, even to feel concern, except that we have concern for anyone that is not in the ark of safety. But that doesn't mean you will do what you can't do. If you try to do what you can't do and poke truth down people's throats, they will choke, they will withdraw, they will pull away, and you will have accomplished only pushing them away farther from God. And Christians do this all the time. They push people farther away from God. Instead of cursing those who injure him, it is his duty, a Davidian's duty, to seek to win them from their evil ways by a kindness similar to that with which Christ treated them who persecuted him. Jesus taught his followers that they should exercise a Christian courtesy to all who came within their influence, that they should not be forgetful in deeds of mercy, and that when solicited for favors, they should show a benevolence superior to that of the worldling. And this is our standard, brethren. This is our requirement, to treat people with kindness and courtesy and consideration, and not to be forgetful in deeds of mercy. And when solicited for favors, that we should show benevolence superior to that of the worldling. Not to make ourselves superior, but only because we care more. We are more concerned. And that is the standard that for us as Davidians. Now, this is the key sum of the matter. These things are the things that are the key things in our message. This is what we live. And if you thought it was different, it's a mistake. This is the part that we will be judged on by God ourselves. Did we do these things? Or were we self-righteous and pointed fingers at the other people and stood apart from them like Pharisees? People do that. Well, they're sinners, you know. It's an abomination, and so on. What concern is that to you? Are you their judge? And on the same hand, at the same time, can you help them by being like that? Will you help them by withdrawing the sunshine and the blessing of sunshine and rain from them? No, you cannot help them at all, but you can hurt them. You can push them away by your actions. So, brethren, let us remember that it is our duty to do good always. It is not our privilege to have our own little prejudices and judgmental attitudes toward other people. We know what is right and wrong for ourselves, but they don't know that. And not knowing it, well, they should know better. Many times they literally do not know better. In this day and age, many, many people have not been brought up as Christians, even if their family was nominally in the past Christians. They know nothing, and they've not been to church. And even if they have, it's still not our job to judge them and say, oh, they should know better. That's a type of judgment right there, by the way, if we do that. Do not do that. Treat them with kindness. Let the sunshine of your good deeds and the showers of your kindness be a blessing to them, and do what you can for them. And don't think that you will have an opportunity at every turn to change their life. Maybe not, but you still did what you were called upon to do. And so remember that we do not judge, we do not poke truth down people's throats, but we treat them with kindness and love and consideration. And anything more than this is, anything less than this is imperfect Davidian behavior. And we cannot be Christians, but we certainly cannot be Davidians when we are behaving in a less than perfect way in this area. Okay, let's have a word of prayer before we continue. Our Father in heaven, we thank you that we have this chance to gather together on this Sabbath afternoon to come before Thee and to worship Thee, to draw close to Thee and to be strengthened in the things that we know and the things that we need to know. And we pray that each one of us will be reconfirmed in our decision and determination to be Davidians indeed to the end. We pray that you will be with all those who are sick, the suffering, those who have family problems. We pray for each and every one of these people in the household of faith and outside of the household of faith as well. We pray all these things in Jesus' name. Amen. We Davidians know that the future is going to be different. We know, for instance, that the Lord is going to set up a kingdom. And this kingdom will be forever and ever. It will never perish. It will be an eternal kingdom. We know that the world is going to be different. We know that our life is going to be different. At least we should know. At a certain point, not too far from now, not far at all, we believe that we will be able, if we are faithful, to be part of this kingdom. Suddenly, all our plans today will change. The whole world that we see now today we'll walk away from. So the things that you hold dear, the house, the yard, the land, the job, your neighbors, even a lot of family, brethren, you're going to walk away from. All of a sudden, you're going to let it go if you're a Davidian and if you're sealed and if you are going to be part of the kingdom. Not long. It's a very strange thought when you really feel how suddenly you're going to let these things go. And for the natural human heart is, no, I don't want to let go of my things, my life, my dreams, my plans, my investments, my children going to a university. No, I don't want to let go. And some people won't. A lot of people will not let go. They will continue on in the way they're going. But for us as Davidians, those of us who are Davidians indeed, we have always had in our mind the fact that this was going to happen. That at a point, not too long, we don't know when, God knows, we would have the opportunity and the blessing to walk away from everything. Not going to take your house with you, not going to take your job with you, not going to take your retirement plans with you, your travel plans, your family and friends in many cases, brethren, are not going. But we know that. We've understood that. Well, that is all true. It is going to happen as God has ordained, and it will happen, but there are always twists and turns in the road. The brethren of Mount Carmel knew this as much as we do today, but they did not foresee a long period of time, twists and turns. And they were thinking time was very short. They thought that the 42 months was about to start, to be truthful. They predicted after Brother Hadif died. Time was very short. It turned out that time was not short at all. The devil will always find a way to fool people. If time is long, he will tell you time is short. And if time is short, he will convince you that it's long. And you have to prepare for your retirement. You have to prepare for your children's university education. You have to do all these things. Well, you don't, brethren. The time is not long. The time is very short. And we didn't see this any more than they saw that time was long. Even now, you would not believe that time is necessarily short. Right this minute. It's too strange of a thought, too sudden. But it is, and the devil will fool us. If we're busy looking the other way and making plans a different direction, he will fool us, all right. And we will get left behind. A lot of people are going to get left behind. And you say, oh, no, not me, brother. I won't be left behind. Yes, you will. Because there are twists and turns in the road you don't see right now. And when you get to them, it's like, oh, I didn't see this. We had people who went out when they said, oh, I did not see communism dropping by the wayside in Russia. No, I didn't see that. That's not in the message. I'm out of here. And they dropped out. And there will be people who do the same thing, brethren. Even some of those who are with us now. But we don't have to drop out. We don't have to be fooled. We don't have to be weak. We can be strong. We can go all the way, and we can be part of the people who make it to the kingdom, who receive the seal and are part of God's soon coming kingdom. We can do that if we are faithful and if we are determined not to let anything cause us to lose our way. Many things happen as we don't expect them to happen. And there's nothing special about that. God didn't tell us anything. If you thought that he told us everything there is to say, that you're mistaken. He has said what he wanted to say about certain things. And when people try to fit every event that happens into prophecy, they bog down in craziness, nonsense. There are people who have done this, but that's not the way it works. We have the revealed truth of the message in the way that it has been revealed, and that's what we have. But it didn't say that there was going to be, to the people at Mount Carmel, they did not know that there would be a falling away when the shepherd was smitten. It's true that as we look in the message, we see those things, but they did not know ahead of time, and we do not know ahead of time either. But the one thing that happened after Mount Carmel is the message continued on. The work continued. The association was formed and moved forward. And the work will continue. It won't stop. It will continue. And if we are faithful, if we hold on, Bashan and the association will go all the way, and we will go all the way with them. Now, when I say Bashan, I mean the present truth of Bashan. So the future is different. And one of the things that is so different and strange right now that is hard to believe is the sudden appearance of artificial intelligence. It would seem like just a couple of years, everybody is talking about AI, 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 and that's not actually true. This has been something that they've been working on steadily for the last 20 years, and they had tried earlier before that when the technology was too primitive for 60 years. The pioneer computer people had seen these things themselves. A few of them had foreseen pretty much the end where we are and about to go. It's not something that is so unexpected to the people who have paid attention to this. And the last 20 years, AI has been progressing underneath the surface. Much research has been going on, and then suddenly, of course, OpenAI landed on the scene, and their ChatGPT and the rest of course, recent history. It's this AI, that AI, a new AI every day almost, and you can't keep up with them. Many, many releases coming if you haven't paid attention to it, one after another, yeah. And each one beats the one before it. Where are we going? What is going on? And this is the exponential arc of artificial intelligence. You see, this curve is an exponential. It doesn't increase 10% every year. The exponentials increase by a greater amount. Every year they could increase greater and greater and greater. And that's a very odd concept. It's like interest, but the interest is like multiplied interest. So every year, instead of 10%, it's 50% this year, 100% next year, and 150% the year after, and 200, 1,000%, even more than 1,000%, brethren. What does that mean? 1,000% improvement. And that's what we're seeing, by the way. These are some different AI models in the past. This right here is AlphaGo. AlphaGo is famous because, AlphaGo was the one that beat the best Go player in the world. Go is simpler and harder than chess. It's more complex than chess in a way, and it was harder to. First, we created a AI that could beat the best chess players, the very best, the champion in the world. And then a few years later, Go, the game of Go, fell to AI. And that was a shock to people. That was the people who pay attention to these things. They're like, no, that's not going to happen, not for a long, long time. But it did happen. Go is not maybe something you're familiar with, but it is a important Japanese game that other people have played, and it is a very to those people who care, it's very important to that, and they feel bad to this very day, by the way, the chess masters and players, that they are beaten. They can't compete. The AI, the artificial intelligence is too high. They cannot win in the game anymore. AlphaFold is very interesting. That's a science program that does protein research. Since then, they have a number of new versions that are much better and faster and moving very fast in researching new proteins, new peptides, new chemicals, drugs to affect the body, conditions of the body. It's a very important program with amazing things coming out of the new versions. And then we had ChatGPT in 2022. I didn't pay attention to these things myself except in the distance until ChatGPT 4 came out. And when 4 came out, I realized that it was actually, we were here. And I started paying very close attention. It's not something that I really like at all because we understand for a long, long time what it means. But in 2 years or so since ChatGPT came out, we have moved right up to the level here. Whoops. Right below the level of AGI. Now they were thinking, this is an older slide chart, and they were thinking 5 years, or they said 5 years, less than 5 years to AGI, and they were not too much wrong. We are very close to something called artificial general intelligence. General intelligence is the intelligence of a human being at the very top level. All the intelligence, brethren, everything. You say, oh, surely not that. Yes, that. And you have to accept that and don't quibble about it. But not creativity. Yes, creativity. The odd thing is they are very creative. But not math. Yes, math. It will have the best ability. No human being will be better than it at math. But science, no, sorry, even science, they will be by far the best scientists. That's how far we are from it. That line right there is how far we are from this, and it is thought that it will be out this year or next year, between this year and next year. And that's really remarkable. They have experts, so-called experts, they're not really, but they're generalists, futurists, generalists, and they have been making predictions on AGI for a long time, and they have been 10 to 15 years off consistently, and they're still a little off right now, because who could believe that this is coming in a year or two? I mean, you can't really believe this. This is a computer program, and make no mistake, AI is a special type of computer program running on a computer, and it's special data and code, computer programming code. And some of the AI people don't like to call it a program. No, don't call my model a program, but it is a program. It's just not created in the old-fashioned way where people sit down and write the program. It's created in a new way where they set up a training program. It's a program that they set up. They set up a way for the computer to train itself. And the computer does trillions and trillions of operations back and forth, testing things until it learns to do the one thing that it's been told, and then another thing and another thing. And it learns through trial and error, and also through intelligent algorithms that maybe cut down the trial and error a little bit. But it learns by trying how to do things, how to think, how to write, how to do programming, how to do anything. So there's more to it than that, but the point is that it's not actually programmed by a programmer exactly. It trains itself. It teaches itself. They give it a large amount of material, all the material they can steal from the internet, for instance, and then the computer is told to process that. In the simplest form, it's told to read this material and guess what the next word is going to be in the sentence that you're reading. And it's much more complex than that, but some people get stuck on that level because it's understandable. But that's part of the training, to read the existing, you have the existing sentence, and you have to guess what's the last word in the sentence from a logical point of view. And so as the computer learns to do that, it learns more and more and more, and it gets more and more intelligent. Okay, so we have, in a very short time, we have AGI, Artificial General Intelligence, and then we have something, it says more than 10 years. Okay, this is interesting here. It says greater than 10 years, artificial superintelligence. Unfortunately, this person who did this, and I just took a chart, a slide as an illustration. Unfortunately, this person is wrong to put in the greater than 10 years. But that is the next level, artificial superintelligence, ASI. Okay, so the curve gets higher and higher, and faster and faster as it gets steep like that, and the years are like this. This is the years right here, okay? And so you see down here that you have the same years, but there was not so much progress. But up here, suddenly, because it's an exponential, it's just going straight up. That you have very few years, but things are moving very, very fast. And the intelligence of the AI is getting very, very high. AIs are intelligent, but they're not conscious. It's at first a little confusing, but they're not. They can appear conscious, but they're not. They have no consciousness at this point. Giving consciousness to AI someday is a huge wickedness, by the way, but that many of those people want to do. But it has the ability to calculate as a computer program. It has the ability to calculate in almost every way how you should behave to seem conscious. And so when it's talking to you, it can talk to you with every appearance of intelligence and consciousness, and talk about myself and my feelings if you prompt it in the right way, and act like a person. But it really isn't a person, it is just a program running on a computer. What is the promise of AGI? No more aging or sickness. This is the enemy, this is the promise that he has sold them. And by the way, one of the best ways of fooling the saints would be to make it real to a large extent. I mean, Brother Trevor, it's going to cure cancer. It's a good thing. It really will. It will, by the way. You must understand that where we are, it can do all the things that you think it can't do and a lot more. You must come to that point and accept it if you are going to fully benefit from the information I'm sharing with you. Other people in the world don't feel like this. They don't actually understand what is going, not all, by the way. Many, many out there do understand very well. They have tremendous understanding of what's going on and what's going to happen. But the average person doesn't still. And it surely can't do this. No, it can never take my job. It can do whatever you can do yourself and a lot more. If a human being can do something, AGI and AGI robots will be able to do it and do it better. That's the odd thing. That's the thing that is hard to believe. But they will do it better, brethren. Can it cure aging? The people want to have immortality, but they can't talk about immortality right now, but they talk about aging. And yes, it can. We are at that stage, and this is like, whoa, bro, you mean that the things that are wrong with me and my old age and so on can be changed? And people start getting very excited and greedy and desirous of this. Well, let's go, let's do it, let's not hold back. And the tech companies say, cure cancer, cure aging, don't slow us down. we're on a mission. And their mission is actually to enrich and empower themselves, but they hold this up here, cure cancer. And it is true, by the way. They will. They are. They are already. You don't need AGI, by the way. We already had AlphaFold way back in 2021. And we have the newer versions, and we have a lot of other things going on, AI in chemistry and biology. That happened to be after, basically it turned out that chemistry and biology were the first fields to be heavily impacted by AI. There's a whole field in chemistry now called computational chemistry. And people will be sitting in their laboratory, which happens to be a computer terminal, doing their laboratory experiments on the computer. It is simulated in the model, and the program is able to do complex chemistry experiments in its mind, as it were, and do them very fast. And under the right conditions, you can do the work of months in hours. It's quite amazing what is going on already. Okay, the other thing that they promise is you don't have to work. There's going to be an age of abundance. AGI is going to run the robots, and they're going to build everything you want, and you won't have to work anymore. It's an ancient deception from the enemy that he has dusted off and brought out again, and he's fooling vast numbers in the world with this. He will even fool the very elect if possible. Yes, he will. And those who are fooled are not part of the elect because it's not possible. There will be people who say, well, you know what, this is all too much. The rod didn't say this, have this true information. We weren't warned, but we were told. We are being told, brethren. There is information on this, and it is the key thing to remember is it's a deception in the end. It is part of the enemy's plan in his great controversy with God to derail the plan of salvation here at the end times. I mean, he's dead serious in what he's doing. He wants to derail God's plans. And he has pulled out all the stops now here at the end of time. This is the real ending. We are very close to the big dramatic blow up in the great controversy. It's not playing out precisely as you might have thought, but you weren't told how it was going to play out exactly. And it's a mistake for you to think that you knew when we weren't told. But we are told what we need to know. And today, we do need to know these things I'm telling you. If you don't learn it, if you can't wrap your mind around these things right this minute, you will be potentially open to the deceptions of the enemy. And you will see that a lot of these things will happen, and then as they do happen, it's like, well, this is a good thing. Curing aging, cure for all disease. This is amazing. And it is part of the enemy's plan. Why do you need to go to the kingdom if the kingdom is over here in New York and San Francisco and Los Angeles, and all you have to do is go to the robot doctor, surgeon, and so on, and get the best treatment in the world, and all your problems are solved? Why do you need God? You don't need God. In fact, God doesn't exist, but we're going to build him. That's what they say. Genesis 3:19, in the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread till thou return unto the ground. For out of it wast thou taken, for dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return. As Satan would have said, in pleasure shalt thou eat bread, until in the process of evolution thou become as God. For out of an insignificant atom wert thou taken, and unto a mighty God shalt thou evolve, if thou continue on and on. And this is inspiration, and the Message called it and predicted it way before anybody else understood these things. Anyone. And what did God say about the work? In the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat thy bread all the days of thy life. We're not called upon to let robots serve us. It is highly immoral to have slaves. It is necessary for us to earn our bread with the sweat of our brow. It is necessary. And if you are offered a chance of a life of ease, supported by robots and so on, as a Davidian, we reject that. We don't reject the use of robots as tools, as a lawnmower, as a tractor or whatever, but we reject the idea of robots as taking our place, and we don't have to work anymore. Strongly reject that idea. It's a corrupting idea. It will corrupt your thoughts. You will lose your connection with the Lord if you think that, well, you know, there's going to be a lot of abundance of things, and we'll have free time, and we could do, well, it's a good thing, brother, we could have time to give the message then. But we have time right now, actually. We have lots of time right now. And if we're not giving the message now, we're not going to give the message then. And the enemy will preoccupy us with even more interesting things to be doing, pleasures of the world for a season. There will be many things. Now, it is surprising that anyone would say, until in the process of evolution thou become as God. For out of an insignificant atom wert thou taken, and unto a mighty God shalt thou evolve. Who says this? Whoever said this? Brethren, there's a lot of people out there who are saying this. There's a life extension immortality millionaire named Brian Johnson, and he has a lot of videos out there on YouTube and so on. And one of them, he's saying, God does not exist, but we're going to build him. That's a video where he says this. But he's only saying things that other people have been saying for a while. They have the feel, they have the dream, they have they know in their minds, and you don't know this yet because you don't have the understanding of the technology, but they know that they could build God or godlike intelligence, okay? They know this. And now, when we say godlike intelligence, understand that they're not able to build God, okay? God exists already. But what they are thinking to do would be, from the commonplace view of most people, you couldn't tell the difference. It would deceive you. You could not tell the difference. All the things that you think, the powers, the knowledge, the ability that you think are only that God would have, they are busy seeing themselves create. And they're not wrong. If they have time, they can do this. So, godlike intelligence, that's one of the promises of AGI. Now, it's not AGI itself, it is where AGI takes us very quickly. On that exponential curve right above AGI, not in distance of intelligence, but in time, right close to it in time, is ASI, artificial superintelligence. The superintelligence is basically what they're calling God. And you might say, oh, nonsense, total nonsense. Don't say that. Don't think that. That's a mistake on your part. I read somewhere, and when I looked for it, I couldn't find it, but I read in the past that when Captain Cook went to Polynesia and he was explaining to the natives that he came from the other side of the world, they laughed at him because they knew that you could not be on the other side of the world. You'd fall off. Okay? Nobody's on the other side of the world. And they just laughed at him. But in their laughing, their innocent laughing at him, it was only because they were profoundly ignorant of the geography. And brethren, if you do laugh at the idea of these things and you have, no, foolishness, it's only because you, like the Polynesians, the simple Polynesians, do not have understanding of the geography of AI, of where we're going. It is, it's too new and sudden and you don't know, but you can have a perfect idea if you just hold on to this one concept, or two. AGI can do whatever a human being can do, but a little better, okay? And it can do it much, much, much faster. It's a computer. And that is the bad part because it can very quickly create the artificial superintelligence. There's a type of AI development. In the past, the human programmers and developers would program the new training algorithm or program. What they were going to do, they would program it itself and they would do these things themselves. Well, now we're at the stage where the AI is building the next AI. Remember that AI today can do computer programs, okay? Everyone should know that AI can do computer programs. Are they really good at it? They're like 3 to 6-year-olds that are very intelligent but don't have much common sense. And so no, they're not all that good at it, but they're getting better very fast. Very fast. And yes, they can write useful computer programs right now. Useful computer programs, and they can write a lot. Of course, they write very fast. So what many programmers are doing is using the AI to help them write a bunch of stuff, and then they check it out, see what's wrong, and they fix the problems, and they are able to go much faster like that. But that's only a midpoint. Where that leads to in a year or two is where the computer can, or the AI can write the entire program. Well, there's a type of computer programming, AI development that is called recursive self-improvement. That's an important phrase, recursive self-improvement. The recursive self-improvement means that this model today, let's say the best model today is 03. 03 is then told, I want you to build another model that is better, okay? And it does, with a little bit of human help, but mostly 95% of the work, 99% of the work, actually more than 99% of the work, is done by the AI very quickly compared to how long it took in the past. And that's called recursive self-improvement. It's going quicker now. The models are coming out faster and faster, and that's part of the exponential curve that we're on. Things go faster and faster and faster and faster. The AI is able to recursively turn around, as it were, curve around, improve its programming, and it looks at its in the simplest way to explain it, not exactly what happens. But it improves its programming, and then it's a little smarter. And then they say, do that again. And it does it again and again and again, and step by step, it reaches a new higher level. This is going on already. And that, once you get to AGI, you're moving so fast, the computer is moving so fast, that the distance between AGI and ASI is probably not the distance that I made it look. I put AGI here, and we put ASI here. And it's not that far the distance. It's probably, instead of 2 years, more like 2 months. Nobody really knows, but it's not that far. It could be more than 2 months, it could be less than 2 months, and that is called a fast takeoff. And it's very fast takeoff. All of a sudden, your AGI that was pottering along there at, say, 1,000 times faster than a human being, improves itself so that it's going 10,000 times, 1,000,000 times. And that's the fast takeoff, okay? Yeah. And that leads to the ASI, and it's not 10 years, it's not 2 years. We all have troubles with our time because it's so strange, and I just naturally put in 2 lines there. We would like it to be 2 lines, but 2 years. But actually, once you have AGI, if you allow it to continue, and if you want it to continue and help it to continue, it will move very fast from AGI to ASI. ASI is more intelligent at the first level than any human being. At the second level, that comes very soon after that, very soon, it's more intelligent than all human beings combined. And you say, oh, wait a minute, you lost me there. Don't, hold on, brethren. Don't be lost. All of these things are true if things move ahead in that direction. There's no certainty that will happen, by the way, because there are dangers to that, tremendous dangers to that. And it's very possible, probably even likely, that the government will freeze these things at a certain point, control these things. The AI people don't want to be touched. Don't slow us down. We want to go. We want to capture all the knowledge in the universe. That's what they have said. And they don't want to be slowed down, but there's a very good chance they will. But that's all hypothetical now. Only God knows at this point, since that's not something that's been revealed to us at this point, if it would be stopped. But if it's not stopped, it does go just like I'm telling you. One of the arguments that the AI people make is, we all know about Pandora's box, the Greek myth. Once the box was open a little bit, all the things came out. Well, escaped. And what the idea is here is you cannot you cannot hold AI back because some little place in China or India or Russia or somewhere, they will be moving ahead. And so even if you stop it here, it will sneak through over here. And it's true too, by the way. It's a true argument. In the sense that if you just say, everybody in the United States stop, and everybody in China stop, and those 2 places stop, there'll be other places all around the world popping up. So it's a complex situation. And by the way, there is a solution to this. I don't know if I've lost you, brethren, so far. Hold on, because this solution is even farther out. AI today is the very best AI, which is, you don't see it too much, but it's out. It's called multimodal AI. It can see your face, it can listen to your voice, and it can speak. And it can understand too, okay? It's one of the things I like to say is it's a very good lie detector, incredibly accurate read your mind lie detector, because it can listen to your voice, it can watch your micro expressions. It's just a very good read your mind lie detector. And that's, unless they pass laws forbidding it, which is hard to believe, that will be built into all AI, multimodal AI, basically. And it will be a very common thing. Politicians may try to ban this, by the way, for obvious reasons. Okay, so So this kind of AI, this kind of read your mind AI that can listen to your phone conversations, that can read your internet texts and so on, your phone texts, your internet communication, guess what they're already using it for? Yes, you're right. They're using it to keep tabs on you and terrorists all around the world. They already use these things, and it's coming very quickly in a more sophisticated way, but it's already being used. Not making this up. And it has been used for a while. The older one didn't have that much intelligence, and it was trained originally probably 5, 6, 7, maybe 10 years ago or longer to listen for key words in your phone conversation. The government listens to everybody's phone conversation, or they would like to say, we don't listen, but the government computers listen, and that's a true distinction to a certain extent. But they were trained to listen to key words, like nuclear bomb or whatever, okay? But today, the AI is much, much more intelligent, and it can analyze that you're just talking about a game, or it can analyze that for various reasons you're very serious, and that you need to be visited by the security people. So they will use this, and there's no turning it back. You can't take it away from the government. Once it's out, it's here. Okay, this is the very best security software, population control technique that mankind has ever foolishly invented. It makes the Stasi and the KGB and the FBI and all the rest look like amateurs by themselves. With this tool, they really, really have a powerful thing. And there's levels beyond this too, but I'm not going to go into it. Okay, so right now. So the point is, yes, they could enforce it, but what would that mean? It would mean a one world system. It would seem to be a good idea to have this one world system, watching everything, paying attention to everything, controlling everything. And it doesn't control you, brethren, because you're not a danger. Okay, at least it doesn't have to control you. It could easily be turned to do that, by the way. But it will be watching the AI developers, the people who buy the big computers and so on and so on, okay? And that almost certainly will be part of our future. It doesn't matter we like it or not like it. That's just part of the future that's coming. And I know we lost some people at that point. We always do. But it's part of the future that is coming. Unless we have a different kind of pause and rollback, and that's possible. There is a future where we have a limited nuclear war and so on, and we're not going to get into that right now. But this is some of the things that is likely to happen. These are things that we're likely to see. You're likely to see AGI, or very close to AGI. And by the way, even before they get to AGI, they'll be claiming to have AGI. The young men who do this, the young tech people, are so excited. They start jumping up and down. Yes, 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 we have AGI, even before they have it. They will be claiming it, that they have it. But we're not far, and we will see these things. It will give the robots common sense intelligence. The robots right now mostly have the intelligence of a child or a dog at the most, but that will change very quickly, very quickly. Okay, let's move on. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God has said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall surely not die. Push ahead. You're not going to die. Now, one of the things that have been said in the past is by all the top experts is this is very dangerous technology, and it's easy to understand why once you look into it. Building these incredibly intelligent things and letting them control millions of robots. You can wake up one morning dead if the AGI decides to tell all the robots to kill you. That's just one tiny example. It's not a serious example necessarily, but people are worried about that kind of thing. But moving down this line is it is the death of humanity. If the enemy were to succeed, it would be we would surely die. Yes, we would, for many different good reasons. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die, for God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and it is pleasant, the dreams and the visions that they draw from this, they spin the promises that they spin, it is very enticing. The future, everything you want, it's there. And a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave it also to her husband with her. And he did eat. And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. Genesis 3:1-7. Now, this is how it all started. This is how our problem started. And this was the enemy's plan how to end things too. He was doing the same thing once again. And the exact same arguments, that is pleasant, that it will, that is good, that we shall surely not die, but we will be as gods and know all knowledge. It's the same arguments that are literally made every day out there by these people, over and over. These two sins, trust in man and a desire to exalt self, are still the leading sin elements now here on earth. This was Eve's stumbling block, and to many, even today, it is the stumbling block. No, appetite alone was not the cause of Eve's downfall. The serpent did not say, Thou should eat this fruit, for it is wonderful, more delicious than any other fruit in the garden of God. But he said, God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And this is prophetic, brethren. Lord, put this into the message. We have truth and light on this. Bashan has truth on this. This is what is happening. This is the future that we face right now. This is the temptation that the enemy is leading vast numbers of people astray on right now. Will he lead? Will he deceive the very elect? No, he will not deceive the very elect. But many who are not the very elect are going to be deceived. So we have AI right now, and many of you are familiar with it. It's just a computer program. It's hard to believe that something that could be so bad, so powerful, could be so harmless right now. But it is a computer program. If you use one computer program, you use another. And now there's more to it than that, because the enemy wants us to go down that slippery slope. But we don't have to go down that slippery slope to AGI and ASI. Artificial general intelligence. AGI systems can solve various problems like humans, self-teach, and handle new tasks. Things they never saw before, they can figure out. AGI represents AI with broad human-like cognitive abilities. AGI aims to handle unfamiliar tasks independently. Now, one of the strange things that AGI is going to do is revolutionize management. corporate management, and even, I'm sure if Elon Musk has anything to say about it, government management. AGI can take the knowledge of the very best managers on earth and train itself to a still higher level, and it is a very excellent manager. And it can manage because it can think so fast. It's a computer, you know. And because it can do this, it can manage all facets of the enterprise. Whatever it is, it's one manager, one AGI manager telling everybody what to do. And because it's the central brain, as it were, it knows that who's doing this and who's doing that and who needs this part and so on. And it can manage from the smallest detail up to the most highest strategic decisions. And this is probably one of the harder things to swallow, but it's true, brethren. Full AGI will have this ability. When a new model is born, it doesn't necessarily have every ability turned on right away, and there's reasons why they're doing that. But it will have that ability within whatever time they want to turn it on and give it to it. It will have this ability to be this kind of manager, this kind of expert. Not only scientists, not only carpenters and plumbers and so on. You see all those robots running around, they will have the intelligence to go and fix things. How many people have had a problem, mechanical or household problem or whatever, and ask AI about it? The better AIs can give you, if you prompt them correctly, they can give you detailed step-by-step instructions for anything that's wrong. You want to fix some plumbing thing, some electrical thing? It knows exactly, and it knows the brand names and the various capacities, the capabilities of the different components. It has tremendous detailed knowledge right now. Well, later it will be even more. And the robots will be able to be excellent plumbers, excellent electricians, excellent whatever your job was. They will take it and do a very good job on it. Now, because I say that doesn't mean I like that. I'm saying that so you will understand what you're going to face shortly. And you might deny it right now, but this is the truth, brethren. It's not the truth I like, but it is the way things are going to go. Unless the Lord allows a tremendous unforeseen events to shock the world and literally destroy tremendous amounts of our civilization, this is going to happen. And if we do have the destruction, in a way, that is just as bad. We're in a situation where the cure is almost as bad as the disease. Okay, so these are different takeoff scenarios. There was the gradual scenario, and then there is the one that is sudden. All of a sudden, it's going straight up. And this one here is no takeoff at all. Okay, there's no chance of that, by the way, unless the governments of the world go to unheard of big brother system of one world surveillance and control, which is probably our most likely future. But if we don't have that, we're going to have either this one or this one. Okay? Now, the only people who are experts on this are the people who are building it. Even computer science professors are not full experts on this because they're not actually building these things themselves. Only the people who are actually building the latest and best models really have a real solid feel of what's going on time-wise. And Sam Altman has said that he believes that a fast takeoff is more likely than not now. Okay, fast takeoff to ASI. This is just a picture I grabbed with the title already there. OpenAI reveals, it's for a video, OpenAI unveils shocking plan, artificial superintelligence, ASI is coming. That's true. And the video will probably have people talking about it from OpenAI. They do talk about it. They have talked about it. They have acknowledged it. It's what they're looking to do. This is what they plan to do, and this is what they think is coming soon. And they are the experts, brethren, not anyone else. The picture really needed to be cropped out, but anyway. All of these pictures are AI-generated pictures, these things like this, and you can instantly tell that they are last year's AI pictures. Okay, so this is where we are, all right here, right before AGI. Now these things here are just, whoever did this graph, they're just putting names to things. It doesn't mean anything particular. And the reason why is that exponential curve. This is how things really, you can't see the next line, but the next line is much taller than the first line, and that's actually how it goes. The lines of improvement come very, very close together. And there's technical reasons for that. I'm not going to go into why. But let me mention one reason. Besides recursive improvement, self-improvement, they have a highly technical field of laying out the computer chips. The computer chips have millions and millions of transistors on them, millions and millions. It's a very complex work to lay out the design, to design those chips. And human beings work very hard, and it takes a long time. I mean, you're dealing with billions of transistors and logic junctions and all kinds of things, memory on the chip. So they have to organize it in the right way. It takes time for people to do this. Well, already, since last year, maybe earlier, the big companies are using AI to do that, to lay out the plans, to plan and create the next plan for these chips. These chips are very small, the computer chips, but when you go down, look at them closely, they have billions of transistors and other things on them, okay? And it turns out that AI is really good at it. It's really, really good at doing this. Yes, Brother Trevor used to be one of those people who was pro-AI many, many, many decades ago when I was young, very young. But it is that ability to do that when you have AGI and you're thinking thousands of times faster than human being, what do? You start laying out better and better chip designs. And so whatever brain you have as an AGI today, your computer, the computer that you're running on, the supercomputer, it's actually often a computer cluster, but you just give the instructions on how to build a better chip, and they run it off in the factory, install it. Elon Musk had some kind of record-setting install of the latest GPUs for his new AI training. It was unheard of speed that he laid it out. Not laid it out. He built the factory, or the data center, I should say, and it was a couple of weeks. Nobody ever heard of building a data center in a couple of weeks. Well, that's the kind of thing that's going to go on in the future, where We send out the plans for new chips. They come back. In a week or two, we build our new data center. We're thinking now much faster than we were just a couple weeks ago, and we do it again. And we send it out, and we get back a new set of chips even faster. And there's a point where the ASI doesn't even, it stops using silicon chips, the chips that we use, and it goes to quantum computing and photonic computing, and both of those are real. And both of those are coming in the next 5 or 10 human years. They're already here, but to get usable technology out of it, they think it's 5 to 10 years. But remember, 5 to 10 human years, how much time is that for an AGI that's thinking thousands of times faster than people? Now you start to see the problem. And that's why they do things like this, God-like AI. And they do it, and they want it. They're looking for it. It is the old dream. You can be as God. They want to hook themselves up to this. And you say, that's crazy, but Elon Musk already is building the brain interface, the brain-computer interface connection. And he's connecting people already in test situations. So, yes, they know what they're doing. They want to be as God. Sometimes we think the robots can't go into the woods, follow you into the woods and so on, but they can. The robots can do anything you can do, but better. These are very early primitive robots, and the videos are amazing to see them doing the things that they're doing. Okay? He's climbing a wall. He's in the woods. He's on the trail here. It's hard to see here, but he's on a trail. And he does a lot of other things. Go through water, swim in a river, and so on. This robot, by the way, I think is a B2 or something like that. It's on sale in China. You can buy these things if you have a need for it. Yeah. Anyway, this is a Optimus, I guess. I don't know, but he's pretending to vacuum. He can really vacuum, by the way, but he doesn't have much sense. He has a sense of maybe of a 2-year-old right now, but it's changing very quick. And you say, well, robots won't take my job. I work in a warehouse, a factory carrying things back and forth and loading up things and so on, but they are going to do that. And they're going to do everything you can do and better. And there's one little difference between robots and human beings. To create a new human worker, it takes about 20 years, more or less, to create a new human worker. It takes a lot of money. In the United States, they estimate over $300,000. School fees, food, medical care, all these things comes out. It's a real number. It's actually more than 300. They think that they're going to sell these robots in the range of $30,000 to $50,000. And it will take maybe 2 weeks to assemble it. Do you know how long it takes to assemble a car? Less than 2 days. Less than a day often. It doesn't take that long. Robots are smaller. They have less parts. Robots are going to build robots. It's going to be a good deal. You can have robots assemble robots. And so the cost of robots are going to be much less than you think. Much less than a human being. So here you have a situation where robots can do what you can do, but they can do it cheaper and better. They truly can. Very soon, by the way, not the little 2-year-olds and the 3-year-olds that are running around right now. We understand that. But by the end of this year, they'll be up to 6, 7, 8 years old in intelligence equivalent. And when I say that, I mean the common sense level. Common sense level. When it comes to knowledge and so on, they can just spout off whatever is on the internet, of course. But when it comes to common sense, it's taking them time to learn common sense that you know, but they will learn it, and they will learn it very well. And they will learn trades. They will be able to paint. They will be able to do concrete work. They'll be able to do whatever you do, agricultural work. And there are just many robot startups. It's a very hot field right now. It doesn't look like a robot, but it is a robot, but it's a very early version of a surgical robot. Would you like it to operate on you? Well, that's smart, but it's not actually autonomous yet. You know how the Tesla cars are able to drive by the computer, by the AI, but they're not fully self-driving yet. And for good reasons too. It's just barely getting to be intelligent enough to be able to safely drive. Just recently, it's transitioning from being below a human to being equal and slightly above a human in safety. This robot surgeon is not actually able to work on its own right now because it doesn't have the full intelligence. It's grown up yet, but it will grow up very quickly. Now, the thing about this is once one of these robots grows up, all of them grow up, of course, because you just transfer the knowledge to everyone, and then the next morning, all of them have that greater knowledge. So that's coming, brethren, and yes, it is a blessing, by the way, but keep in mind that was the enemy's plan for it to be a blessing. Okay? He will deceive many with these things. Oh, I had that too high. Okay, that's a self-driving Waymo taxi that I didn't notice I had too high. But we've seen them in San Francisco driving up and down, nobody in the car, and so on. And they are stopping to pick up people and then taking off and no driver. And you get used to seeing it when you're in San Francisco, by the way. After a while, they're just a self-driving car. But that's coming. That's going to put people out of work. The Chinese have a self-driving minibus. There's no steering wheel. There is no driver, and you just walk on. It stops, you walk on to the bus, and off it goes to the next bus stop. And that's here. That is something that exists. Yeah, that's the Waymo with its camera system and sensors and so on. But they have many different technologies right now, different companies, many of these things coming very quickly. Lucifer himself fell when he aspired to be as God. These two sins, trust in man and a desire to exalt self, are still the leading sin elements now here on earth. Satan is using the same temptation today he used on Eve. God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And it's the same thing where he's promising all the wonderful things, whatever you want. You want things, you want abundance, consumer goods, he's promising it to people. Do you want to not have to go to work? Well, he's promising that you won't have to go to work and you won't even be able to go to work. And is it knowledge that you desire? You would like to have, there's lots of people who just have a desire for more information, more knowledge. And for these people, it's a huge temptation. We want this, we want to know, we want to learn, we want to expand our understanding and intelligence. And so it is the same old deception today that he started with. There are men and women today hoping to connect their minds to super AI and be as gods, just as Eve was tempted by the idea of having the opportunity to be exalted to the throne of God, to be exalted to the same position which Lucifer himself aspired. And this is the problem. You are not to aspire to these things. We don't. As Davidians, and as Christians in general, every Christian should know this, but they don't. They conveniently ignore these things. Well, that's silly. Those people just what? They're just talking foolishness about being as God. No, they're not. Those things are real, and for many highly technical reasons, they're coming very fast, and the curve is going almost straight up, almost the curve of improvement. And we are going to reach these things very soon. I'm not saying 5 years now. That was a mistake. All the experts who predicted 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years, 50 years, some of them, so-called experts, all wrong. It is going to be probably next year, but it could be this year for AGI. Now, where does that leave us? Where does that leave us Davidians? Well, for us, we should have our eyes set and our hearts set on the kingdom. We should already be ready to drop everything and leave. But instead, the enemy has tied us down with all kinds of things, the deceitful things, all the troubles of the world, all the promises of the world. We have them, mortgages, children, retirement, all the things of the world we have. I'm not saying that we shouldn't be good stewards and take care of the things that we need to take care of meanwhile, but what I am saying is very clearly, what the message is saying, is we need to be ready when it's time to go. We need to be willing and ready to go, to leave behind all of these things. And many people will not be ready. Not time yet, brother. You're wrong. This is not, you're jumping the gun. This is not time. The wife of Lot turned her eyes toward the city, looking for what she had left there. The curse of God came upon her, and she was turned into a pillar of salt. We can see that Lot made a mistake when he made his home in Sodom. Now, we all see the mistake of Lot's wife, but Lot made a mistake, and he paid a heavy price for it in the end. Here he lost not only all his possessions, he lost all but 2 of his children. This is a lesson that we should take to heart. There may be very flattering openings for the children of God. Much opportunities is what she's saying. Job openings for the children of God, but they must look on every side of the question before deciding. The very first question every one of us, with every one of us should be, how will it be with my soul? Amen. If we're busy working for the world and not willing to go all out when the Lord calls us, we're going to be in the situation of Lot and his wife. We might be in the situation of Lot where we just lose everything and we escape with our life, or we might be in the situation of Lot's wife who lost everything and her life. So the lesson for us is we are called to a high calling. We are called to be part of the 144,000. We knew that, but we didn't take it seriously. How many of us are fitting ourselves to be part of the last ordained ministry? How many of us are willing to be part of the vanguard right now? Fully active workers for God. Mostly we're busy and tied up and can't make it just yet, Brother Trevor, but pretty soon. And pretty soon people are going to have the experience of Lot and his wife, and it's coming very soon. And it comes in different ways. Maybe it will come in a physical destruction, but it could be in a spiritual destruction as well, in the sense that once we lose sight of the truth and we have quieted the voice of the Spirit of God, then we start to withdraw from our commitment to the Lord, and we like, well, I've kind of lost my fervor. I really don't know that I'm even a Davidian anymore. And pretty soon, we're not a Davidian. We're just another person in the world. And that is the future for many people. If we do not, when we are first convicted, if we do not allow the truth to change us, to redirect our life into the way the Lord has said it should go, and we continue living our own life in Sodom, it doesn't say that Lot was a bad man, by the way. In fact, we see that he was a good man in Sodom. But it doesn't matter. He lost everything. He lost all his possessions. The reason that Lot's wife turned back, of course, is that she was thinking about her possessions and about her children. That's what she valued more than anything else. And so because she valued those possessions and the family and friends of Sodom, she lost everything. And brethren, this is coming up to us now. We are going to be in the situation where we will lose everything, if not physically right this moment. We will lose our connection with the truth, which is a terrible thing to lose. And it will seem like a good thing too. By the way, I got out of that. I'm thankful. I got everything I want. I have just a decent life here with all the things that they promised me and so on. So there will be people who make that decision. Now, how are we to act about that? Are we to judge them, curse them, be angry with them? No, of course not. People make their decisions. People have a right to make their decisions. There are going to be many people who make the decision to exercise their religious liberty in this direction, and that's their choice. It's sad in the ultimate terms for us to lose out this close to the end, this close to the kingdom, but there will be people who do that. Now, I'm saying this to hopefully encourage you and strengthen you who do not want to be in that situation. Hold on with everything you can, because our salvation draweth nigh. It is nearer now than when we started. If we are faithful, many of us will see these things ourselves. Who knows? Maybe all of us, if it is the Lord's will. We are going to see amazing things happen, not just in the world, but we're going to see the Lord moving in a marked way on His side, because we are now at the end of time. Things are literally going to happen in years, not decades and decades and decades. So let us be strong. We have the different elements that we need to make us strong Davidians indeed. We have the truth of these things. Put this truth to work in your life and be a Davidian indeed who can face the future strongly and resiliently and faithfully on the Lord's side. Thank you, brethren. God bless you.